Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Paul Andrews, and it will be my privilege and pleasure to be your Master of Ceremonies for the 2016 Wayne State University Athletic Hall of Fame ceremony. I welcome each of you to the 41st Annual Athletic Hall of Fame celebration. Today's event is a wonderful opportunity to showcase the very best of Wayne State athletics, and it gives us great pleasure to have all of you here in this delightful occasion with us. You should know that the Department of Athletics is moving toward the 100th anniversary. The information at your seat will direct you to the department website, where you can review significant moments in Wayne State athletic history and share your own memories. We encourage you to engage in the process as we move toward celebrating our centennial.
Well, thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. It's always great to be here. Now, unfortunately, Jacqueline and I will have to leave early. We've got a flight to Los Angeles in a couple of hours. So there's something called the Capital Campaign you might have heard about that we're in the middle of. So got to go out and raise some money. But it's really great to be here for a little while, and we'll probably be able to stay through lunch. So, and then Gary Pollard should be here, and we'll be, he's the chair of the board, so he'll take over my duties. We're here to celebrate our newest inductees to the Athletics Hall of Fame, and just want to let you know you make us all very, very proud. Through your many athletic accomplishments and your academic excellence, you embody the university's official motto, aim higher. Where there were expectations, you exceeded them. Where there were records, you broke them. You showed the people around you and us here today that anything is possible if you apply yourself wholly and passionately. The lessons you learned in the classrooms undoubtedly helped your career, but the lessons from competition, how to strive for excellence and support your teammates, how to win magnanimously and lose graciously, how to give everything you've got when everything is on the line. Those lessons will serve you a lifetime. All of these 6 inductees are in their first year of eligibility for the Hall of Fame since they completed their college career in the spring of 2010. You could say that we've just been waiting for them for this moment. In the 2016 Hall of Fame class, we have professional players. We have a professional coach. Some of you are currently pursuing advanced degrees or have already obtained one. In short, we have nothing but the best, and I am so impressed by all of you. You are in good company in Wayne State's Athletic Hall of Fame. Today, you are joining a very distinguished and growing class of Wayne State players and coaches whose accomplishments are so exceptional, we want them to be remembered for many years to come. The Hall of Fame, Class of 2016 inductees, will bring the membership total to more than 230. Members include Olympians, conference, regional, and national champions, former professional athletes, coaches, administrators, and individuals who have demonstrated a major personal interest in Wayne State's athletic programs. Each of you excelled, not only on the field, but in the classroom, in the community as well. You led by example, and our current student athletes are working hard to follow in your footsteps. In the fall semester, they averaged a cumulative GPA of 3.15. That includes 21 student athletes with a perfect 4.0 term GPA. I tell my cabinet all the time that we should recruit all student athletes for the student body at Wayne State with those kind of statistics. And they set a school record last year with more than 10,000 community service hours. To the new inductees, you've been out of school for at least a few years, and you've had a chance to test the value of your Wayne degree. Now, judging from the feedback we get from employers, They tell us that Wayne State graduates are better prepared for the world than many of their peers from other unnamed schools. But I would say this is doubly true of our student athletes, because the same discipline and commitment you applied in your athletic endeavors will put you on a path to success in all walks of life. We hope that you'll share your Wayne State stories with your friends, families, and colleagues. You are the university's best ambassadors. When others look at your success, they see very plainly the value of a Wayne State experience. So thank you all for giving Wayne State your very, very best efforts. You are truly an inspiration. Thank you very, very much.
Hello, my name is Gary Pollard, and I understand President Wilson was here with us earlier, so I missed him. I understand he's taking a flight out to California to raise some money. As chair of the board, I will say amen. I want you to know, since the president is here and I can't embarrass him, I feel that education and athletics go hand in hand like hand in glove. So we're here today to celebrate our athletic program and certain athletes. But I want you to know, from an old track guy and football guy, I never made it this far. And the athletes didn't make it themselves. They're here today because they had support from family, faculty, staff, and community folks, parents and grandparents. So I want to let you know that it is my honor today to come before you and speak for a minute. I understand we have 6 former student athletes and their families who are with us. And I say thank you and congratulations to all of you who support them. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. To all of you, thank you for choosing Wayne State for your educational and athletic endeavors. While the origins of your recognition today are based upon the success on the field, in the pool, on the court, your academic pursuits are also applauded and laudable.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate you coming in here. And certainly, Governor Pollard's a big supporter of the athletic department. Many times he'll just show up in the athletic department on a weekend. You'll be in there and you'll knock on the door, and you know, he'll have a friend or somebody that he wants to show around, and certainly appreciate his support. I know his wife, Pearl Ann, is usually around at all the games, and she'll come up to me, and this was back when they were doing the search for the president, and she said, "Rob, we found the perfect guy for you." I wanted to remind her that I was already married, but I said, "Oh, the perfect guy." She goes, "This president is great." She says, he was a student athlete, and certainly the president's support and what Governor Pollard has done has certainly elevated the athletic department. I see all the bright lights, and I just wonder where all the people are going sometimes. I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of cars with people, all seemingly going in some direction for some purpose, always going to some other different place. You know, at Wayne State, we're kind of at the crossroads of all these freeways, and literally thousands and thousands of people pass by our campus every day. But some stop by. And those that stop by, their life is changed forever. You can look at just the class of 2016, but also the people that are assembled in this group. Their life has been changed by Wayne State. You know, when I was looking at the class of 2016, there were some unique traits about it that stuck out. First of all, the geography of them. 3 of them come from different continents. There's 5 different countries represented. They've all literally traveled thousands and thousands of miles to be here. None of them are from the city, but all of them are part of Detroit. There's some other characteristics beyond the nuance of geography, and they relate around the number 5. 2 of them wore the number 5. One won 5 individual national titles. 2 of them won 5 conference titles their senior year. And one is only one of 5 student athletes in the long history of fencing to be a multiple national champion in an individual weapon. You know, the other interesting thing is this is the only class in the 41 that we've ever inducted that all played in the same period of time. And you can see the impact on the athletic department by the fact that of the 5 best seasons ever in the history of that NACDA Cup that Paul just talked about, 4 of them came in the years that they played. Do you know there's people that study numbers? I'm not talking about CFOs and accountants. There's actually people that study numbers and tell you characteristics of them. And the number 5 is kind of significant. It stands for dynamic action. It stands for movement. It's an equal blend of female and male characteristics. The number 4, by contrast, is static and inflexible. I've met some 4s. I like the 5s better. I'm going to illustrate to you today how this group of 6 represented that number 5, how they added a dynamic appeal to the department. It not only changed athletics, but it changed their life too. In a few years, the university is going to celebrate 150 years, and the athletic department is going to turn 100. In that period of time, there has been a number of student athletes who have found Wayne State as a destination point and a starting point. And along that way, they have been impacted by their experiences here, not just academically, but what they've learned athletically. You know, the road for this Hall of Fame class has been somewhat torturous, but they found home here at Wayne State. Back in 1804, Judge Woodward laid out the city of Detroit, how the streets would work. He modeled his idea after Washington, a hub or a center with the streets like spokes coming out from it. In fact, if you go down to Campus Marshes today, to the Woodward Fountain, you'll see a little description embedded in the rock marking that spot. And you'll never guess how many roads he designed leading out of the city. 5. Gratiot, Jefferson, Grand River, Michigan, and Woodward. 5. 5 leading out, which took great ideas and accomplishments and things that Detroit brought to the world, but also coming back that brought those same opportunities for people that were looking for them. You know, the Hall of Fame class has a lot of highway still in front of them, but they're going to benefit by the fact that they got their start at Wayne State. And also, now they're always welcome back because, well, this too is home. The only difference is this home is a little bit more enlarged today. Today it includes them in the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. You met some of the Hall of Fame selection committee, and it was funny, now when we're going through names, there's some pretty significant accomplishments that we're looking at. I mean, when you're in the upper 11, 12% of all teams in the country, you obviously got to have some good student athletes. Well, we got to the name Joique Bell. And Angus McKenzie, who's sitting over here, said, well, when you retire a guy's number, he's pretty much a lock in the Hall of Fame. And he's right. There wasn't much discussion. Arguably, Joique Bell is the greatest football player in the 98 years that we've played football here at Wayne State. He's the only football player in our history who was a two-time All-American. And in the history of the NCAA, all divisions, only 4 student athletes have ever had 2 seasons in which they gained over 2,000 yards. Joique was one of those. He amassed 6,778 rushing yards in his career. That ranks 6th best in the history of Division II and 8th best across the history of football in the NCAA. He scored 100 touchdowns while he played for Wayne State. 88 of those were rushing, 8 of them were receiving, and believe it or not, 4 of them were for passing. We might still be able to use him. I'm just kidding, Coach. He had 34 games as a collegian in which he gained at least 100 yards. He had 9 games in which he gained at least 200 yards, and 2 games in which he gained at least 300 yards. Amazing statistics. He was a 4-time GLIAC first-team selection and, in 2009, the Harlan Hill recipient, which is emblematic of the best player in Division II in college football, the Heisman Trophy equivalent of what Division II gives away. You know, with a career like that, there's so many great stories and so many great accomplishments that Joique had. You could literally spend the rest of the afternoon talking about them. But there was one. There was one that stuck out, and one that Coach Winters continually showed every pro scout that came into our facility. It happened in the 3rd game of the 2009 season against Indianapolis. We had just scored a touchdown and cut the deficit to 14-12. There's 5:35 to go in the half. Coach decided to go for a 2-point conversion, but he used Joique as a decoy. From my understanding and talking to Coach Winters, that play got called in by an assistant coach. Anyway, as Zach George, the quarterback, rolled out the other way, he threw a pass that was intercepted by the Indianapolis defender, who sprinted the other way down the field because if he got to the goal line, it would have been 2 points. Most players, let me go with just about every player, would have either given up or half-heartedly tried. Joique took off in a sprint after the guy and caught him at the 1-yard line before he got in. That secondary person for Indianapolis, he had to be the most surprised person in the stadium. But you know what? Joique has made a career out of surprising people. And I'm going to tell you this, he's going to surprise some more in the future. I asked his mom one time, why Wayne State? I mean, was it the libraries? Was it the great academic reputation? Was it the research? Was it the great professors? She said no. She said it was just one reason. She says it was Paul Winters. She says he's a man of integrity. He's a man of his word. You know, you can talk about statistics and things that the accomplishments of the athletic department, but when you have people like that, you're going to be successful. And today, the Hall of Fame is giving its word to Joique Bell. We welcome you in. Joique, his mom is here, Gaddis, and his father, Joique Sr., please stand up and be recognized.
It gives me great pleasure to present Mr. Joique Bell for induction into the Wayne State University Athletic Hall of Fame.
Hello, everyone. Wow, where do I start? Got the call from Coach Winters a few weeks back and told me to give Rob a call and tell him thanks for I had just been inducted into the Hall of Fame, and my feelings were indescribable, honored, humbled, blessed. And when I go back and think about it, there's no way I could have been in this position without a firm foundation, which was set by my parents. Well, my mom and dad for keeping me in the church, putting me in the choir, even though I couldn't sing a lick, to going to Bible studies, going to prayer, and they really set a foundation for my upbringing. To my mom, told me the true definition of hard work, seeing her bust her butt to provide for me. My sister, seeing her coming in, working 10 or 12-hour days. Sorry, hold on. You're my rock. Godparents. You guys came in, hard time in my life. My godfather, my first football coach when I was 8. And my brother Marcellus, my god brother, blood couldn't be thicker. My sister. I never forget sitting in my dorm, sitting at home, and getting a call that they had to rush my sister to the hospital and almost lost her life. Kidney failure when she had been diagnosed wrong. She texts me before every game. I fight, you fight, we fight. Every game. And I have a picture of an article that they did on her. Once I was drafted and came to the NFL, I put it up in my locker to remind me of why I do it. And no matter how hard I have it, somebody else always has it harder. I'd like to thank my teammates who came out, Wayne State and the Lions. We have our first round draft pick. I'm sure I had many other places to go, but instead he came here to share this moment with me. Give him a round, Lake and Thomas, and give him a round of applause. Let that go down. To Troy Burrell, who also was a Wayne State teammate, also a Lions teammate of mine. Wayne State alone, give him a round of applause. I'd like to thank my niece and nephew for coming out. Raise your hand. And also to my girlfriend and her family for coming out to support. I appreciate you guys have been very supportive of my career. Also very instrumental into me and Felicia's relationship, and I really appreciate you guys as well. To my son, my mini-me. Came to Wayne State, had my son my first semester of school. Didn't know what I was going to do, but knew I had to do something. And with the foundation that my parents instilled in me, and I figured I didn't turn out too bad, so I wanted to instill the same things into my son. So as much as I could, I kept him in church, got a job, working, 2 jobs actually, worked for the campus security. You guys already know I worked for Detroit Lions security as well in the summer. And just trying to figure out a way how to make it work. And, you know, and then stay prayerful, and God always makes a way. Sitting back and thinking about how I ended up at Wayne State. I think without my godparents, I probably would have never even met the head coach. But Coach Winters, met Coach Winters at the U of M football camp, which was $385 for the week, and we couldn't afford it. My godparents teamed up with my mom, and they raised the money, and they sent me off to camp. And not only sent us off, but drove us down. And my goddad, my godfather, was so instrumental. My football career, life, how to be a man, and thank you. Thank you. To all my friends, Manal, Eric, my best friend, Takesha Webster, since I met her here at Wayne State, and you meet your lifelong friends here in school. And same way with Troy Burrell, still good friends to this day, and it's just an amazing feeling. I promised myself I wasn't going to get up here and cry, but there's so many emotions that's going through you, and you're just so grateful, and you're so blessed. And sometimes it's overwhelming. And but I definitely have to say thank you to all you guys, to Coach Winters, who recruited me hard, and I'll never forget it. He said, "Now, if you come to Wayne State, just as hard as you made me recruit you, that's how hard I'm gonna make you work when you get here." You know, and I was a hard worker, and and then I came to school here, and I have to tell you guys, it was the worst 4.5 years of my life. Definitely was the worst, but at the same time, it was the best 4.5 years of my life. It was an oxymoron, but somehow it works. So thank you, Coach Winters. You was more than just a coach. You were a great man of character, another father figure in my life. And I know they say you only have one mother, but I had 2. I had my mother, and then I had my godmother, and then I had 4 fathers. I don't know how that works, but it worked for me. And the reason that I was happy I chose Wayne State was because Coach Winters was more concerned about me graduating and getting my college degree in life after football than me coming here and just being a football player. And I remember him sitting in my living room talking to my mother, and we get a call from Northwood. And my dad walks in the back and takes the phone call, and I go in the back and I talk. I said, well, I'm meeting with Wayne State. And the guy said, Wayne State? We beat Wayne State last year 70-3. Why would you go there? I said, well, you know, just let me finish having a conversation with him. So I went back and told my coach what the guy had told me. He said, well, you go back and you tell him you wasn't at Wayne State yet. And a funny story, we come back out next year. We played Northwood in Northwood, and we smacked them. We smacked them. So, Coach, man, thank you for everything you've done for me. From keeping me from playing other sports, even though I was a 4-sport athlete in high school, and you let other players do 2 sports. But you told me, Joique, do you want to play for the Detroit Lions or the Detroit Pistons? And my answer was, who's paying the most? So I think I made the correct decision by sticking with football. because I ended up with the Lions. So everybody, thank you. And if I miss anyone out, I love you and thank you.